What up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Unscripted Sports Show. I'm your host, MoneyE, back with the MLB weekend recap and week 4 Power Ranking 15, episode 75. Got done episode 74 today, too. It was Liverpool championship review. Liverpool back on top episode, winning the Premier League. I talked about that since I'm a Reds fan. Never walk alone. Give my thoughts. So check that out. Check out all our other channels on the Everything Unscripted Podcast Network. Uh, our flagship channel, Wrestling 3 Years. This Friday we'll be doing Backlash 2009 in the cartoon channel when teams combine. Cartoon classic. Um, almost finishing round 1. We have 2 more matchups. This week is SpongeBob versus Heathcliff, and then next week is Rugrats versus Scooby Doo. So we'll save the best for last. That's going to be an interesting one to debate. Me, myself, Dave, and Sean, the judges, and Doug, the host, of course. And then Stabcast, Mindy and Daniel, they dropped one yesterday, so I'll put all the audio out by tomorrow, either tonight, or tomorrow. So check those out. Subscribe to this channel, and let's get started. I don't know why we're still in March. Let's do. We're almost in May, so let's review last week or weekend. Mainly the weekend. So, but to just recap last week, the Mets swept the Phillies. Dodgers got swept by the Cubs again. They lost ever since they got back from Japan, and I mean, ever since they got back from Japan, they beat the Cubs twice in Japan, and then they only won one game in the states against the Cubs, and they are 3-4 against 3-4 versus the Cubs this season, 2-0 in Japan, 1-4 in the states. So maybe the Dodgers are better off playing the Cubs in Japan because they're 2-0 in Japan. So, and what else? You got those were the two biggest series I can think of. Let's see what else. I just want to do a quick recap of that. Tigers Detroit, that was a good series. Tigers won the first one. Tigers won the second one. I think they swept the Padres. No, Padres had a bad week. They only won one against Detroit. The Yankees lost 2 out of 3 to the Guardians. The Mariners lost 2 out of 3 to the Red Sox. Oh, I'm not even sharing it. Wait, hold on. What am I doing? Talking about it, but I'm not even sharing it. Yeah, so you got the Phillies got swept by the Mets. I said the Yankees lost 2 out of 3 to the Guardians. The Orioles got swept by the Nationals, or did they won one against the Nationals? I don't know what's going on with the Orioles. I mean, I thought they were going to take a step back, but I didn't think it was going to be this bad. They're 10-17 going into today. I think they took one game. Yeah, they took the last game. White Sox. I think the Mariners lost 2 out of 3 to the Red Sox. The Phillies shouldn't have got swept. They should have won the last game. So Cubs Dodgers series is pretty good. They lost both games were decided by 1 run, 7-6 and 11-10 in the first game. Dodgers had a lead in both games. So yeah, so Dodgers had a bad week. The Phillies had a bad week, but they ended the week. They ended the week good. The Dodgers, the Phillies and Dodgers both had bad midweeks. Orioles had a bad week. Padres had a bad week. They got swept by the Pirates. No, not the Pirates. They got swept by the Tampa Bay Rays at home. They had the best home record going to this week, and they got swept. Cubs had the best. Cubs were the best offensive team. They led the league in runs scored, stolen bases, extra base hits, and batting average going into the weekend. And they were held to 4 on Friday, 3 on Saturday. No, 4 on Saturday and 1 on Sunday. So they scored 9 runs this weekend. But the Phillies pitching stepped up and held the Cubs to under 10 runs this weekend when they averaged 6 runs a game. The Mets split the 4-game series with the Nationals. The one game ended today, but that doesn't count for the week because, as I said, I do Sunday through Monday. I do Monday through Sunday. That will count. That record will count for next week. So, but I still didn't. I still counted 7-3 to the Astros. Salvaged 1 game from the Royals. The Cardinals lost the last game to the Brewers. The Cubs took 12. I mean, the Phillies took 12 from the Cubs, so they finished the weekend good. White Sox, A's, who cares? Rangers, Giants. I think the Rangers won that. No, the Rangers did not win that series. They lost 3, I think. Yankees took 12-3 from the Blue Jays after winning doubleheader yesterday. D-backs lost 12-3 to the Braves. The Giants won 12-3 from the Rangers. Padres got swept, as I said. The Guardians and Red Sox, I think they split. I think they had a rain out on Friday too. No, they split the 2-game doubleheader on Saturday, and I think the Red Sox won. The Red Sox took 12-3 from the Guardians. The Guardians just lost today. Not taking them again. They got killed in back-to-back games. Damn. So that's the quick recap. Now to the after I do reveal the standings, I want to take a look at the rankings where each team ranks after April. Because this is the last MLB show before May, so we'll take a look at the standings too. So coming in at number 15 is Toronto Blue Jays. The number 15 this week went 1-5, 13-15 on the season. Yeah, I kept them in the top 15 this week. They'll probably be dropped out next week, but because I didn't see any other team to put in that was worth it. The Braves are back in the top 15. They slide to number 14, 4-2 this week, 12-15 overall. So I think they're turning it around, maybe currently losing to the Rockies, so we'll see. Cleveland Guardians, the team that got smoked the last 2 games. I put number 13, and they moved up from number 14. Went 3-3 last week. They might be dropped out this week, depending on the rest of the series against Minnesota Twins. Number 12 for the Red Sox. I kept them at number 12. And they went 4-3, 16-14 in the season, second place in the East behind the Yankees. Diamondbacks continue to fall. Number 11, 2-4 last week, 15-13. It's ironic that the next three teams I have were had the same record last week, and they all went the same. They all had the same week this week, so they all have the same record again. I'm talking about Arizona, Texas, and Philadelphia, and I put them in the same order, but all of them dropped besides Texas. Texas 2-4 this week too, 15-13 overall, and number 10 last week. I have Arizona. I had Arizona moved to number 11 because I think they had worse. Even though they had, probably should put Rangers number 11, but I think Arizona is falling more, and Rangers are in second place. So yeah, the Phillies. I think they're turning it around. I say that as a Phillies fan, but I really do think they hit a little bump. But now that May is coming around and warmer weather is coming, they're heading back home, playing the Nationals tomorrow. So I had another day of rest. So at least they're getting some days off now. They had a day off. They hadn't had a day off for 16 days. Now they have a day off. They had a day off Thursday. Now they have a day off today. I think they have a day off on Thursday. I think they have 2 days off this week. So 2-4 last week, 15-13. I expect them to maybe crawl back into the top 5 next week, hopefully. Cincinnati Reds moved from 13-8. They had a great week, 4-2, 15-13. They're improving. So the last 4 teams are all the same record. San Diego Padres are outside the top 10, outside the top 5 now. 1-5 last week, got swept by the Rays. Gross at home. They had the best record at home, and they got swept by the Rays. The Rays are not a great team, but they're a solid team. But they shouldn't be getting swept. They at least win one game. 1-5 last week, 17-11 on the season. Falling a little bit. The Yankees stay at number 6. 3-3 last week, 17-11. Just like the Phillies, I think the Phillies and the Yankees are almost identical. I compared their lineups. I think they have identical lineups. But yeah, so I keep them at number 6. I keep the Giants at number 5. They went 3-3. They went 5-2 last week, 19-10 on the season. First place. Number 4, the Detroit Tigers moving to the top 5. They had a great week. 5-1, 18-10 on the season. First place in the Central. Number 7 last week, number 4, and this week, so top 5. Number 2, 3, the Dodgers moved from number 2 to 3. The team I have that jumped them swept them, so that's why. They went 2-3 last week. Lost to the Cubs, but bounced back and took 2 out of 3 from the Pirates. Probably should have swept them. 18-10 on the season. I think they're starting to find their groove. Cubs swept the Dodgers 2 games and then lost 2 out of 3 to the Phillies, but still had a good week. 5-2, 17-12 on the season in first place. And the New York Mets. Those New York Mets 4-2, 19-9 on the season. Best record in MLB, and rightfully so. So their offense is not. I mean, they scored 19 runs today, so their offense is starting to hit. These teams that have good lineups start hit when there's warm weather. Teams don't hit in cold weather. That's not how baseball works. That's why I wasn't worried about the Phillies. They'll start to hit when the weather gets hot. Same thing with the Phillies. Same thing with the Mets. Same thing with the Yankees. Same thing with the Dodgers. Same thing with the Cubs. These teams hit well in warm weather because that's what they do. That's what baseball is. You hit in warm weather. So yep. And the biggest fall this week was this Padres and Blue Jays. The biggest move up was the Reds, 5 spots. Now let's take a look at some rankings. Let's take a look at top prospect stats real quick. Let's look at the farm. Number one batter prospect hitting in Triple A right now, 96. Hitting 171. Hitting. Wow. Okay. Ramon Anthony hitting 313 in Triple A. 14 RBIs, 47 total bases. Home run rate is 4.9. Home runs 5. Drake, he's in MLB right now. No Phillies. No. Adrian Miller hitting 206, so that's not good. Not hitting right now. Let's see. Where's the pitching? Let's take a look at the pitching. Andrew Painter. He's in single A. He should be in triple A soon. 2.45 ERA. Strikeouts is 10. 1 walk. He's only pitched 7 1/3 innings, so he'll move up soon. Choice Burns, triple A. Oh no. I think he's in 2. Triple A. 1.33 ERA. He might be up soon. Nothing stands out. Did I look at the wrong one? Let's see. Now let's look at StatCast. No, wrong one. I don't want to look at this. I want to look at the standing. Why? Why is it giving me StatCast? I want to know the league leaders. Let's see. Base winning. I just want to look at stats. Why? There we go. Team. That's all I wanted. Look at the team. No. No. I just want to look at the stats. So the Dodgers lead the league in home runs. Dodgers and Yankees. Surprise. Surprise. Who leads the league in walks? The team leads the league in walks. Seattle Mariners. Wow. Phillies. Third in walks. People say they're not patient, and yet they're third in walks. They just can't hit with scoring in scoring position. That's their problem. It's not getting on base, because they can get on base, because they're third in walks. The stats don't lie right here. They're third in walks. Who leads the league in hits? Cubs lead the league in hits. The Phillies are top 10. Runs is Cubs. Cubs lead the league in runs, 172. 158 for the Yankees. I think the Phillies are almost dead last. No, they're top 13. Okay. Batting average. Let's see. This is all teams. So Yankees lead the league in batting average, 263. See, nobody's hitting over 260, 270. This is a league-wide, not problem, but just league-wide right now, nobody's hitting. Team-wise, the highest batting average for a team is not even 270. Nobody's hitting 270 right now. 289 strikeouts is the Rockies. The Phillies are 17th in strikeouts. They don't strike out a lot. They're the bottom. They're in the bottom 15 in strikeouts, and they're top 3 in walks. They just can't score with men and with players. They can't score with runners in scoring position. That's their problem. They would be probably leading the league in runs. They're getting on base. So on base is top 10. On base percentage, let's see. On base percentage, they're top 3. I don't know what the issue is. People are complaining about that, but top 3 in walks, top 3 on base percentage. They just can't score with runners in scoring position. That's their problem. They're not even striking out a lot. They're just not hitting the ball in play when they need to. I don't know what their starting pitching is. I don't know where. The pitching is not great. That's because of their bullpen. Let's see how many. $205. So let's look at players. So who leads the league in home runs? Kyle and Troas. Corbin Carroll. Wow. Okay. None of the big names are in the top 5. Let's see. Who had the best batting average? This is Major League, not NL or ML. So Aaron Judge had the best batting average. Paul Goldsmith. Now let's look at American League. I'll go to 10 o'clock. I'll give it about 30 minutes. So okay. Stolen bases. Okay. Luis Robert. What the hell? Okay. Batting average in the National League. Probably Kyle Tucker. Oh, okay. Fernando Tatis on base. Folks, we're only in April. For the fans that panic in April, don't panic in April. You got the Orioles who are struggling right now. They should be better than they are. The Royals should be better than they are. Cleveland should be better than they are. Milwaukee should be better than they are. Yankees should be better than they are. Philly should be better than they are. Teams that are struggling, the Orioles, they're in last place. The Royals are struggling. They should be close to the first place. Cleveland is struggling. You have teams up and down. The only consistent teams I think have been the Mets and Dodgers, somewhat, and the Cubs. Those are probably the 3 best teams right now, are the teams that I have in the top 3: the Mets, the Cubs, and Dodgers. The American League is the league that's struggling. They don't have any top teams. I think all the good teams come from the National League, and my top 5 says it because no, I have one American League team in the top 5. That's the Detroit Tigers, who I think are the best team in the American League. The best team in the National League is the Mets, and we're only in April. It's only April 28th. 2 more days of April, and then we're in May, and then we'll be in June, and then June is when we look at the standings and all that. It's not time to look at the standings and say who's going to make this, who's going to make that. There's a lot of baseball left, and I can't wait for it. So, let me see what else. Look at something else. I don't want to show any video because every time I show video, it's taken down. So I'm not doing that. At least not with highlights or anything right now. Unless I'm reacting to it. And then I don't know. Trying to get to 30 minutes. Let's see. I'm not seeing there's any. Let's check out injury report. Let's check out the scores right now. 2 minutes until get 10 o'clock. And that's almost exactly 30 minutes. So the A's are winning. Rockets and Braves are tied 3-3. Astros are winning. Dodgers and Marlins are about to shoot up. Guardians screwed me over, and the Orioles finally won. I knew they would win against the Yankees. They need to have a good week, and I think the Orioles are going to get it together. The Royals are going to get it together. Let's take a look at this week's games. What series start tomorrow? Phillies are back at home facing the Nationals. Zach Wheeler's on the mound. I think he gets back on track. Rays and Royals. Rays are back at home. Royals need to get back on track. Cincinnati and St. Louis continue their series. Guardians continue their series. I think the Guardians bounce back tomorrow. The Red Sox and Jays. Jays need to bounce back. They had a bad week. Mets and D-backs. Mets are back at home. No, the Mets were at home. Never mind. They were playing the Nationals at home. No, they were in DC, so they're back at home. They're playing the D-backs. That should be a good series. White Sox and Brewers. White Sox are surprisingly 7-21. Wow. Athletics and Rangers. Seattle and Angels play each other. Giants and Padres play each other. So the Padres need to bounce back after getting swept by the Rays. They get back. I think they bounce back this week. I think the Giants come back to earth a little bit. We'll see. Maybe not. I don't know. They're playing extremely well right now. They're probably the most surprised team in the baseball right now. So, for MoneyE, remember tomorrow night, myself, Daniel, Dave, and Sean will be doing NFL draft recap, talking about the draft. I didn't watch much of it, but we'll find this. We'll read some reports and see what other analysts say and all that. Recap the NHL and NBA playoffs from this weekend tonight, obviously. Update that. There's some series that are over. Cleveland finish off Miami Heat. The OKC finished off Grizzlies, so the number one seed did their job and swept the Celtics. The Celtics look to close out their series tomorrow. The Pacers look out to close out their series tomorrow. NHL, I'm not sure, but yeah, I think there's a couple series that are going to play tomorrow. I think the Maple Leafs get to finish off the Senators tomorrow. I don't know if the Senators tied that, so I'll check that out tomorrow. For MoneyE, I'm out. Have a good night.